This is Adbn News at 2. Good afternoon. And I am Cynthia Okosa. First Lady nursing mothers to embrace healthy lifestyles and nutritious diets, stressing that breastfeeding is vital to children's healthy growth and lifelong development. In a message marking the 2026 World Breastfeeding Week, observed from August 1st to 7th, Senator Tinubu endorsed the theme Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life, Strengthening What Works. She described breastfeeding as a key investment in the health and future of children, families, and the nation, urging mothers to prioritize their well-being and that of their babies. In the same vein, Anambra State First Lady Dr. Nonye Soludo has urged mothers across the country to prioritize exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a child's life. Soludo, in a statement marking the 2026 World Breastfeeding Week, said breastfeeding promotes healthy growth, strengthens immunity, and fosters a strong bond between mothers and their babies. She encouraged expectant and nursing mothers to embrace exclusive breastfeeding in line with health experts' recommendations, describing it as one of the most effective ways to give children a healthy start in life. Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has confirmed said the girls had regained their freedom and were on their way back to Nairobi. The commission said efforts were ongoing to address the circumstances surrounding their detention. Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged Nigerians to embrace unity, forgiveness, and peaceful coexistence, saying the nation's security, stability, and prosperity depends on placing the collective interest above ethnic, religious, and political differences. Speaking in Jos at the 80th birthday celebration of former Plateau State Governor Jonah Jang, Shettima called on leaders and citizens to reject hatred and promote reconciliation for lasting peace and development.
Plateau has always mattered to the heart of Nigeria. It hosts the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies at Kuru, the headquarters of the 3 Armored Division, Operation Safe Haven, the Police Staff College, the National Veterinary Research Institute at home, and the National Center for Remote Sensing. These institutions are the pillars of our security, our knowledge, our innovation, and our culture, and their influence reaches far beyond our borders. A nation entrusts such treasures only to soil in which it believes.
Also speaking, former President Goodluck Jonathan describes Jang as a dependable partner during his administration, while Governor Caleb Mufwang hailed him as a mentor, father figure, and exemplary leader whose impact on Plateau State remains enduring.
The choices he made, the challenges he faced, and the convictions that sustained him throughout his years of service. That is why Airman to Politics, My Life, is more than a personal memoir. It's a contribution to our national history. It reminds us that leadership requires courage, patience, resilience, and faith.
One thing I want to assure you, that the people of Plateau love you. They love you. They will never forget what you have done for this state. And there are many things you have done for this state that cannot be forgotten. Today, one of the edifices that stand as a testimony to your administration is a new government house in Little Redfield. It's an edifice that people are yet to appreciate I've traversed the length and breadth of this country, and I want to say that it is one of the best government houses in Nigeria.
In his response, Senator Jang thanked President Bola Tinubu for his goodwill message, Vice President Shatima for attending the event, Governor Mufwang for hosting, and other dignitaries who honored him.
This book is not written to settle scores or attack anyone. Rather, it is an honest effort to place events in their proper context, explain the circumstances under which certain decisions were taken, and present the facts as I experienced them. I believe history is best known when those who participated in it tell their stories truthfully and with humility.
Leadership of the Niger Delta ex-agitators Phase 3 in Delta State has endorsed President Bola Tinubu and Senate President Godswill Akpabio for re-election in the 2027 general elections. The endorsement was announced in Warri during the inauguration of newly elected executives who will lead Phase 3 beneficiaries of the Presidential Amnesty Program in the state for the next 2 years. Speaking after his inauguration, the new chairman, Julius Omoyibo, praised President Tinubu for appointing Dr. Dennis Otuaro as administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, saying the appointment has strengthened peace and stability in the Niger Delta.
Leadership for Phase 3, since they are not be training people. We have been crying for this leadership. We have been expecting this since, but we never see it. But there is Otuaro, when Otuaro enter, he's very great leadership, training people, even scholarship for students. So we never see this kind of amnesty before. And everywhere is peaceful.
We expect the new government to take charge and respect leaders, followers, and carry everybody along.
Any good man, they must criticize him. But we see him as one of the best in the program. And we know that today is the best man in the program. We inaugurate this man today, Julius Omoyibo, today into state chairman to help him to calm the situation in the Niger Delta, so that we may be peace in the Niger Delta.
From the ESCO, they should follow suit. They should follow the protocol of the former ESCO, because the former ESCO, they done well, have done well. They should follow suit.
National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, in collaboration with Action Aid Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, have launched the Humanitarian Development and Peace Practitioners Nexus, Policy Coherence and Learning Sub-Working Group. The launch ceremony, which held in Abuja, featured a high-level roundtable on financing the HDP Nexus in Nigeria and a policy review to strengthen the national durable solutions architecture for internally displaced persons and returnees. The report.
Nigeria currently faces a severe displacement crisis with over 6 million affected people, prompting a strategic shift towards durable relocation solutions through voluntary return, local integration, and permanent resettlement cities. States like Benue State have set up a 5-year IDP resettlement plan. Yobe State government considers allocating 5% of its 2025 to 2027 budgets to IDPs, while the federal government has commenced construction of new permanent housing developments and communities with pilot phases in Nasarawa, Borno, and Zamfara states.
For how long will Nigeria continue to be feeding them, giving them food items, giving them soap and mosquito net? I think that is not tenable at all.
This event represents another significant milestone in Nigerian collective effort to institutionalize an integrated approach to addressing humanitarian crises, promoting sustainable development, and building lasting peace across our nation.
Speaking on the importance of the launch of the Policy Coherence and Learning Sub-Working Group, Director Business Development and Innovation at ActionAid underscored the need for accountability and transparency in resource mobilization.
And that would mean constantly being in part of the technical working group, the subgroup that has been launched today. And they will provide technical capacity to that group as required, and also ensure that all resources are accounted for, because one of the mandates of this subgroup is also to raise resources for ensuring that resources is available, both financial and human resources available for the HDP to fly.
All the participants and stakeholders highlighted immediate deliverables in social protection, inclusion, and protection services.
When you talk about IDP camps, this should be very temporal structures. They should not be there. We have IDP camps that have been there for as much as 12, 15 years. It's not a good thing. If you have ever seen an IDP camp, you will not wish it for anybody.
In terms of the shifts that are happening in the coordination of humanitarian work, and how it relates to these issues of durable solutions and development investments in the future of people affected by displacement.
The HDB Nexus launch focused on clarifying the mandates, reporting line, membership expectations, and value addition of the sub-working group, with a clear understanding of multi-sectoral and multi-year financing, in addition to learning partnerships with the UNDP Crisis Academy. From the nation's capital, Bito Brian, Adbn News.
The Nigerian Army says the graduation of students from the Nigerian military school, Zaria, will strengthen the country's military manpower and operational capacity. Speaking at the 68th Passing Out Parade in Zaria, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, represented by the Commander, Infantry Corps, Major General Godwin Mutkud, urged that graduating students to uphold discipline, patriotism, and professionalism in service to the nation. He also warned against violations of operational security, including the misuse of social media.
Today's graduation is a tangible boost to our ongoing efforts to implement Mr. President's directives to expand the Nigerian Army's force structure from the current 8 divisions to 12. Indeed, service to Nigeria remains the highest honor any individual can give to his nation. Uphold these values always, as they are the pillars upon which our armed forces stand. Thankfully, you are not alone on this journey, but are now part of a long-standing tradition of excellent mentorship. Face the future with courage, humility, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals you now represent.
The Army Chief described the graduation as a major milestone, noting that the 6-year training program had equipped the students with the leadership skills, values, and discipline required for future military service. He commended the commandant, instructors, staff, and parents for their contributions to the students' success and charged the graduates to uphold the values of the Nigerian Army while contributing to the national peace, security, and development.
Let me be clear. Violations of social media policy can and will result in disciplinary action, including dismissal from service where necessary. You must therefore exercise the highest level of restraint, maturity, and responsibility as you navigate the social media space. Equally, wherever you are deployed, I implore you to competently operate within the stipulations of the tenets of human rights and strictly adhere to the rules of engagement and standard operating procedures in the conduct of operations.
The Nigerian military school, Zaria, remains one of the country's foremost institutions for grooming future military leaders with a strong academic and leadership foundation. The Nigerian Navy has inaugurated an 80,000-litre solar-powered borehole in Kerua community, Katsina State, to improve access to potable water and strengthen civil-military relations. The project is executed under the Chief of Naval Staff Special Intervention Quick Impact Project Initiative, also seeks to enhance community security and provide a better learning environment for school children. Representing the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Aminu Abdullahi, said the intervention demonstrates the Navy's commitment to community development beyond its constitutional mandate of protecting Nigeria's maritime domain. Justice Faruku Bunza, a Kebbi State High Court judge abducted about a week ago, has regained his freedom and returned home safely. Kebbi State Police Command confirmed his release on Monday, saying it had also been verified by his family and the State Ministry of Justice. Police said although the kidnappers demanded ransom, the command maintained its policy against ransom payments, while security agencies intensified efforts to apprehend those behind the abduction. In Enugu State, armed kidnappers invaded St. Joseph Catholic Church in Inoi, Afa Community, Udi local government area during an early morning mass, abducting 3 worshippers. Enugu State Police Command confirmed the attack, saying one victim was rescued after the assailants abandoned the person while fleeing from security operatives. The police said a joint team comprising officers, forest guards, and members of the neighborhood watch group launched an immediate pursuit, forcing the kidnappers to flee with the remaining 2 victims still in captivity. Commissioner of Police Maman Beatrice Giwa has ordered an intensive manhunt for the suspects and directed tactical commanders to deploy all available resources to rescue the remaining victims. You're watching Adbn News at 2. Stay with us for more stories after the break. Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefes has signed 3 executive orders aimed at strengthening security and curbing criminality across the state. The orders prohibit political thuggery, protect host communities in mining areas, and strengthen measures against drug abuse. Governor Kefes said the measures were necessary to protect lives and the future of residents, urging parents, teachers, traditional rulers, security agencies, and community leaders to work together against drug abuse and other forms of criminality. Kaduna State has graduated the pioneer batch of 1,101 armed forest guards as part of efforts to reclaim forests from criminals and strengthen security across the state. Governor Uba Sani, who reviewed the passing out parade in Kaduna, said the guards would complement existing security agencies in tackling banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes. He said the force would strengthen forest surveillance, intelligence gathering, and deny criminals freedom of movement while working with the armed forces, police, DSS, NSCDC, and other security agencies. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, a Catholic priest of the Cardinal Archdiocese, Reverend Father Joshua Archer, has urged Nigerians to register and obtain their permanent voter cards to elect credible leaders. Speaking in Kaduna, the cleric said active participation in the electoral process is essential to strengthening democracy, stressing that informed voting remains one of the most effective ways for citizens to influence good governance.
Everyone is called upon to go out there, get their PVC, dust it, and keep it well, and wait for the time to vote. Every Nigerian is equally called to encourage those in their spaces and corners to get ready for the elections. That's the only way that we can effect a positive change in our nation, Nigeria. The young, the old, all those who have attained the age of having their voters' card should please go out and do the needful. Let us have this voters' card kept. That is the only way that we can effect the change that is desired when we come out to vote. And that is not to say that the government is not doing her best, but her best is not good enough at this point in time.
Father Archer also expressed concern over the country's security challenges, urging government and security agencies to intensify efforts to protect lives and improve the welfare of citizens.
But when insecurity becomes the order of the day, and there is no enabling environment for people to grow, for people to thrive, then it becomes a problem. The government should be sensitive to the needs of people, to the plight of Nigerians. And they should try as hard as they can to see that every Nigerian's life is better. I am sure that Nigerians will be happy. We have to show love and solidarity to one and all. We cannot allow people to come and divide us. No. It is always beautiful when we are together. We are even stronger together. We are better together. And so no one should allow cracks in the world. No one should be a clog in the wheel. We should do our own best and encourage others to do so as well.
The cleric said responsible leadership, active voter participation, and improved security are critical to deepening Nigeria's democracy ahead of the 2027 general elections. Humility and service have been identified as stepping stones to be embraced by people aspiring to positions of leadership and influence. Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, gave the charge while delivering a lecture at the Special Leadership Summit organized by the Shepherd House Assembly in Abuja. Francisca Oga has details.
We are at the Shepherd's House Assembly, where the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, has just delivered a teaching during the Special Leadership House Assembly.
The church was packed full and the congregation listened with rapt attention as Pastor Umar Eno, governor of Akwa Ibom State, gave a teaching on leadership backed with passages from the Bible and laced with true life experiences from his journey as a leader. He said, leaders are made in the secret place and often go through a period of test.
God will never give you a platform to amplify what you do if he does not trust your character. He will want to be sure that if I give you this platform, that your character, and here I will say character, your character must be good.
Speaking to journalists after the service, the governor shared how being a pastor has influenced his leadership style and called on leaders to always put the people they serve first.
It teaches you to serve the people with humility and dignity, integrity. All of those are virtues that you carry as a child of God, as well as a person, someone who has been speaking to others. It's now my time, maybe a test period, and I pray that God will find me worthy after this exercise. Every government is of God, and we must learn as citizens to support the government so that they can continue to achieve the purpose for which God has sent them. I believe, like I said, in engagement rather than chaos.
The senior pastor of the Shepherd House Assembly, Apostle Joshua Kalena, while fielding questions from journalists, described Pastor Umoino as a wise choice by the people of Akwa Ibom State.
This man is accountable. He's a steward. He has humility. He loves the Lord. And I know he will do good for Akwa Ibom people. Just 3 years, we can see the impact he's making already. And he has the anointing for grassroots. He's opening the grassroots, the local governments, and the wards are opening up with the impact of his government.
The theme of the Leadership Summit is the voice of influence and afforded the congregation the opportunity to learn from a serving leader.
From the Shepherd House Assembly in Abuja, Francisca Orga, ABN News.
Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has announced an empowerment package for youths and widows of the Kosan Regional Church Council headquarters due to promote self-reliance and economic development. Mutfwang unveiled the initiative during a Thanksgiving service in Jos, South Local Government Area, held to mark the 80th birthday of former Governor Jonah Jang. The governor urged beneficiaries to embrace hard work and perseverance, stressing that sustainable prosperity is built through diligence and commitment. In other reports, Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, at Abdullahi Fodio University of Science and Technology, Alero, has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the Kebbi State government to address its outstanding demands or face an indefinite strike. The union said the demands include the non-implementation of the 2025 federal government ASU agreement, which took effect on January 1st, 2026, as well as other unresolved welfare issues affecting its members. ASU, Afosta, said failure by the government to resolve the issues within the ultimatum would result in a total and indefinite strike until all outstanding matters are addressed. The Niger State government has inaugurated newly remodeled facilities at the General Hospital, Minna, as part of activities marking the hospital's centenary and efforts to strengthen healthcare delivery. The upgraded facilities include male and female medical and surgical wards, pediatric wards, and the emergency pediatric unit. Speaking at the inauguration, the governor's wife, Fatima Bago, described the project as a major milestone that would improve access to quality and timely health care for residents. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has distributed title documents for plots of land to his political aides as part of efforts to reduce the housing deficit and promote property ownership. The beneficiaries include senior special assistants, senior special reporters, special assistants, special reporters, and personal assistants. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Ibrahim, Governor Yusuf said the initiative would empower beneficiaries, create family wealth, and provide a foundation for a better future. The International Monetary Fund has warned that heavily indebted governments are increasingly adopting financial repression policies to reduce borrowing costs and channel private savings into public debt. In a working paper, the IMF said the trend has become more pronounced since the 2008 global financial crisis, as governments facing growing fiscal pressures and fewer conventional options for reducing debt. The report said financial repression may involve interest rate controls, higher bank reserve requirements, and restrictions on capital flows, which could result in lower or negative real returns on government debt. 43 Nigerian insurance and reinsurance companies have met new capital requirements introduced under landmark industry reforms, the country's insurance regulators said on Sunday, marking a major milestone in a year-long recapitalization exercise. The exercise was conducted under the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, signed into law by President Bola Tinubu last year as part of broader financial sector reforms. The National Insurance Commission said 8 insurers that submitted evidence of compliance shortly before the July 31st deadline were still undergoing financial verification and regulatory review, which it expects to conclude within 14 days. It would be recalled that Nigeria had about 60 licensed insurance and reinsurance companies before the recapitalization exercise. Under the new rules, they were required to maintain minimum capital levels based on their business segment, with thresholds set at 15 billion naira, equivalent to $11.02 million for life insurers, 25 billion naira for non-life insurers, and 45 billion naira for reinsurers. Moving on, generally, men are expected to be providers, protectors, and pillars of strength. But behind those expectations, many are silently struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, and emotional burdens they rarely talk about. In this special report, we explore the realities of men's mental health, the stigma that keeps many suffering in silence, and why more voices are calling for conversations that could save lives. Our correspondent, Jesse Morris, reports.
Routine has a way of hiding things. The work gets done, orders are delivered, bills get paid, the days keep moving. From the outside, everything appears exactly as it should. But experiences have a way of leaving things out.
I spent most of my time here in my studio making clothes and sourcing fabrics and all of that. Sometimes talking about your problem, especially to people who don't know how you feel, is sometimes I feel is disturbing to them as well. So I just keep it to myself, and just keep it to myself. Yes.
Sometimes it's not just facing it heads on. It's about the individuals around you, building a good support system. And the support system, it's more like the basic, say the smallest, the family is the smallest unit of the society. So it can start from there as well. The words and how we show support and know that it's not, they go through this pressure and be there. Every help might not be just necessarily financially. Emotional support is also important. Psychological support, words of affirmations.
What happens when the people everyone depends on begin to carry more than they can say?
Whenever I remember that many people are depending on me for a lot, it makes me breathe up and breathe down. Sometimes my heart skips. That will not make me to be scared that, God, why? Or for me to ask God, why did you make me a man? No, I'm proud to be a man. All my life, I've never called any uncle and say, please, sir, I need this financial support from you. Or any auntie to say, please. So already I can't say it's affecting me, or already it's part of my life. If I have that financial stress, I don't have anybody to call because I can't, should I say I'm on my own on this?
or I'm all alone on this. But how do I manage it? That is where hustling comes in.
Many men who appear to be successful or responsible or dependable are actually dying underneath. Underneath, many of them are carrying grief, disappointment, fear, trauma, loneliness, depression even, that they've never shared with anyone. They've not shared with their partners, they don't share with their friends, they try to toughen it up, and sometimes they don't even face the truth themselves. They hide everything buried deep down. Being strong isn't pretending that nothing affects you. The real strength means that you know when to ask for help.
Around the world, the conversations around men's well-being is growing louder. According to globally, men are more than twice as likely to die by suicide as women. Behind those numbers are complex realities, shaped by culture, access to care, personal circumstances, and the willingness to seek help.
One individual can also start change, can also begin a change. And one individual can also, in a negative aspect, can also be the source or start of destruction. So let's start as an individual. It is okay to also check on your loved ones. I would rather you speak to me as a person about your challenges. You speak to me and speak to someone than the next day seeing an obituary because of the challenges you've been facing. As I say, when you're alive, you have the chance to provide. Or now who they are alive, now they provide, right?
Your value doesn't disappear because your circumstance changed. You are more than your income. You are more than your job or your career. Your worth as a person isn't tied to what you produce or what you earn. It is inherent. It's something that is already there. You know that seeking support isn't a sign of weakness. It is actually one of the bravest decisions that you can make for yourself. Because when one man begins to heal, guess what? Families become healthier. Relationships become stronger. Communities become better. And the ripple effect, continues to go outwards, right? And affect everybody.
The demands of life may never disappear. But psychologists say fulfillment isn't defined by how much we endure. It's found in purpose, in connection, and in having the space to be human, even when life expects us to be strong.
Stay with us for more stories on the foreign scene and sports desk after this break. Morocco's Interior Ministry says 11 people died while attempting to reach Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta last week, significantly below Spain's figure of at least 72. The ministry said 10 of the victims drowned while another died after falling from a rocky area as authorities investigate the incident and work with Spain to identify recovered bodies. Morocco said about 40,000 people attempted to cross into Ceuta illegally, blaming the search partly on misleading information circulated on social media. Prosecutors have launched an investigation into the incident. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake has struck near Egypt's Suez city, shaking buildings across Cairo and prompting authorities to activate emergency response plans. The National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics said the quake occurred around 3 a.m. with its epicenter about 40 kilometers north of Suez. Tremors were also felt as far as El Arish near the Gaza border. No deaths, injuries, or major damage have been reported. Authorities have placed emergency services on high alert and advised residents to avoid old or weakened buildings. Nigeria Hockey Federation has confirmed Team Nigeria's participation in the Under-18 Africa Hockey Fives Championship, which will take place in Nairobi, Kenya from 6th to 8th August 2026. The championship will bring together some of Africa's most talented young hockey players, providing an opportunity for the continent's rising stars to gain valuable international experience and compete at the highest level of youth hockey. Team Nigeria will be represented by a 26-member delegation comprising 10 male players, 10 female players, and 6 officials, all of whom have undergone extensive preparation ahead of the tournament. Speaking before the team's departure, Nigeria Hockey Federation President Simon Nkom expressed confidence in the squad's readiness and ability to make the nation proud. The tournament also serves as a qualifying event for the International Hockey Federation Hockey Fives World Cup, which will be held in Cairo, Egypt in December 2026. The champions and runners-up in both the boys and girls competitions will earn the right to represent Africa at the global tournament. Completed his move to Eintracht Frankfurt following in the footsteps of J.J. Okocha to become the 6th Nigerian to represent the Bundesliga side. The Super Eagles midfielder joins Frankfurt from Club Brugge on a 5-year contract that runs until June 2031 and will wear the number 25 shirt. The other Nigerians to have played for Eintracht Frankfurt are Isaac Ojigwe, Donald Agu, Nduka Anyao, and Henry Isaac. During his spell with Club Brugge, Onyedika won 2 Belgian league titles, the Belgian Cup and the Belgian Super Cup. Popular Nigerian streamer Habib Hamzat, known as Pella, has dismissed claims that he is wealthy, describing himself as a poor boy from Ikorodu. Pella made the remark while displaying bundles of dollar notes reportedly received as gifts during his recent wedding to fellow content creator Jarvis. The statement has sparked mixed reactions online, with some fans describing it as an expression of humility, while others questioned his claim given the lavish gifts reportedly received at the ceremony. In the meantime, Nigerian social media personalities Pella and Jarvis have announced that their white wedding will take place on August 8, with attendance limited to just 100 invited guests. The couple said the ceremony will be an intimate event attended only by close family members and friends. The announcement has generated excitement among fans who have closely followed their relationship on social media. Veteran Nigerian actor and musician Harry B. Anyanwu has appealed to Nollywood actors and the public to support actress Maureen Okpoko, who reportedly lost her sight several years ago. In a video circulating online, Anyanwu urged members of the film industry to rally around Okpoko and assist her in assessing medical treatment that could potentially restore her sight. He called on fellow actors and actresses to unite in supporting their colleague during her difficult period. American pop star Ariana Grande will step away from public appearances after completing her Eternal Sunshine World Tour next